Armin van Buuren returns with a brand new artist album, Mirage. Out now.
We're here with Armin van Buuren to answer all the questions that the fans sent on Twitter and Facebook. Welcome, Armin. Are you ready for the first question?
I'm ready. I think it's very exciting that we got so many reactions on Twitter. It's incredible to see that so many people took the time to ask a question, all for my new album release, of course. Yeah. And I haven't read the questions before, so
that's
I'll
what we
them.
like. We got 1,000 reactions, and we took around 25 for you to answer.
Okay.
Shall we start?
Yes.
The first one is from Brian John Fernandez, and he says, what inspired you to become a DJ? And did you have any qualifications before you became a DJ?
What inspired me to become a DJ? I think, it's the passion of the sharing music with people. I mean, I'm a big music fan first and foremost. All my colleague DJs, they release albums as well, and I have all their albums in my library. I'm a big fan of music, electronic music, and I didn't expect to be such a successful DJ. For me, it was kind of a strange thing, coming from DJing in a really small bar to now all of a sudden playing all over the world. So I think it's really, really special. I don't have any specific qualifications. I'm a lawyer. I finished my law degree. I have a huge interest in electronics, computers, technology, synthesizers, and as I said, a big passion for music, and I think that's all the qualification you need.
So is there somebody that inspired you to become a DJ?
There's several people that inspired me. Of course, I've said this many times before, for me, the Jedi Master of DJing is Ben Librand. He still is a big inspiration, and still I think one of the technically most skilled DJs out there. Very underestimated, and there's loads of DJs that inspired me. In the early days it was Ronald Molendijk, Dimitri Remy, Marcello here in Holland, and of course John Digweed, Sasha, Carl Cox, Just Jules, Pete Tong, all those names from the UK in the early days, for sure.
Emil, I don't know if I pronounce this right, Agakian, that's what it says. When did it strike you to realize, holy crap, I'm going big?
Maybe today. I don't know, I guess the first real moment that I realized that something was happening was when Communication, my track, was released. It entered number 18 in the UK charts, and then on the same day I DJ'd for the very first time in Cream. It was the first time I actually DJ'd in the UK, and it was back in 2000. And I think the second moment was when I entered the DJ magazine Top 100. And then a year after, going to number 5, and it's such a big honor if people go online and vote for you. That really means a lot for me. I mean, there's so many great talented DJs out there, people I really admire that are in the DJ list, and it's such an incredible honor to be able to play for so many people all around the world. I feel really blessed to be in this position, just sitting, to be sitting here talking to you, and people asking me questions. It's a great feeling.
Tom Rogers wants to know. What's beach matching like on some of the world's largest sound systems, and what do you do to keep your ear in prime condition?
Well, something my wife always says, I always have to turn down my monitors, which she's absolutely right about. I wear earplugs when I DJ, always. And beat matching on the big system is, it's you got to be really tight, because the little differences you hear, the same goes for if you play on radio. People hear if you're slightly off. So, but fortunately technology is helping us. I DJ right now with the CDJ 2000s, and you can really accurately DJ to make sure the beat's exactly on. But crowd interaction, record choices, beat matching, there's a lot going on when I'm behind the decks.
Joanna wants to know, who writes the lyrics to your songs, you or the vocalists?
It's different every day, I went to, for example, for Mirage, I went to London to work with Guy Chambers. He's the big man behind Tokyo Hotel, Robbie Williams, loads of other acts. And we wrote 6 tracks, and one of the tracks that's on the album, Virtual Friend, was inspired by a newspaper that I got in the morning when we were in London. It said, autumn leaves treated as litter. And I thought that was a really nice metaphor. So I took the newspaper to the studio, showed it to Guy, and I explained to him why I thought it was a nice metaphor. We treat beautiful things sometimes as garbage. Autumn leaves are actually really beautiful. and they were treated as litter. And I thought, people living on a bench sometimes are treated as garbage as well when they're just normal human beings. So I gave him the idea for the songs, but I speak English, but not as well as Guy, so he helped me. And so we came with all kinds of, metaphors, city boys selling countries, surgeons lifting sagging skin, all that kind of lyrical things he came up with, because he's obviously English and he's done the songwriting thing before. Other songs like Fine Without You were really co-written with Jennifer and me. We were just singing in the studio, trying several things. Burn With Desire was written together with Justine Suiza. At first she didn't really like the sentence, but you left me in the rain, which is now one of the hook lines of Burn With Desire. So I'm really proud that I pushed Justine to sing that lyric. So I think it's usually a co-write. Other tracks were completely written by other people. For example, the Nervo Sister helped me with the lyrics for Not Giving Up on Love. I wasn't there when the song was written, so that's completely written by the Nervo Sisters. And that's basically how songwriting goes for me. Okay,
so it's both. It's your inspiration and from the vocalist.
Sometimes it's completely written by someone else. Sometimes it's me and the vocalist.
Andrea Bresselin, she says, constant album and mix releases, social networks, mobile apps. Is the world of electronic music too commercial or just prolific?
That's a good question. I don't know. For me, it's still the same feeling that I have with electronic music. I try to step over my boundaries. Half of the album of Mirage is instrumental trance. People always talk about the collaborations, which are obviously a little bit more commercial because I want to reach over to radio. If you want to have radio success, it helps if you have a vocal on top. Sometimes an instrumental tune can get in the charts, but it won't get as high. Like Full Focus was obviously the first single from Mirage. I consciously made the choice to make an instrumental track as the first single. That wasn't a commercial choice. I just wanted to show the people, hey, this is what rocks the dance floor, and I know where I come from. But I think all music grows if you try to step over your boundaries. If you look at the history of music, whether it's Bach or Beethoven or the Beatles and Bob Dylan or Pink Floyd, they all looked at each other, and music only became interesting when people stepped over boundaries. You see the same thing happening now with David Guetta and all kinds of hip-hop artists teaming up. I think it's only interesting for music. So I made the conscious choice to make half the album of Mirage instrumental trance tunes. That's where I come from. That's what I DJ. That's the sound that people know me for. That's what I like. Tracks like Orbion, Coming Home, Mirage, and all that sort of stuff. And then the other tracks are just a little bit experimentation. I like all kinds of music. I like the more housey stuff. I like the more techie stuff. I like a good song. So for me, Mirage is also a little bit of a tryout to see if people like this new direction that I'm taking. But I will never forget instrumental trance, never.
NL Track says, what makes your new album, Mirage, different from your other albums?
Mirage is a completely different album. First of all, it's my biggest project I've ever worked on. Second of all, the way that Mirage came to life was completely different than Imagine. For example, I worked with the whole classical orchestra. I worked with the band of my brother. I went to London to write with Guy Chambers. I built a completely new studio for Mirage. So it was a 2-year project, really starting from the ground up and creating 21 tracks. And I hope people can really hear that I fortunately didn't feel very much pressure to make Mirage. When I started working on Mirage, I was like, okay, so Imagine was a big success. I don't think I'm ever going to top that. So let's just go in the studio and have fun. And that's basically what I did. I wasn't thinking when I woke up in the morning like, okay, I'm voted the #1 DJ in the world. In and Out of Love was a big hit. How am I going to top this? No, I was just waking up thinking, okay, I'm going to have a day of fun in the studio. And that's I think the big difference with my previous albums. Because with Imagine I felt more the pressure, and with Mirage I just let it go. I was having fun, Like for example, the title track Mirage, I involved the whole band of my brother. I mean, it's a crazy idea, but I was like, cool, it's never been done before. Let's try it. Let's try and make it rocking. And just because I was so inspired in the studio and trying different things, I think I'm really, really pleased with the result.
I spoke to you during the Amsterdam Dance event last year, and there you were saying that you were working on your album and that you were still searching for some vocalists. How do you find them?
Here and there. Sometimes I find a vocalist just online or on MSN or Skype or just on MySpace or Facebook. Sometimes it goes through management. I had help from some people that came here, and we were looking for different collaborations. For example, Fiora Cutler, I met her through Ken Ojihara, who knew the vocalist from Berlin, and sent her a couple of tracks. But like John Lennon said, life was happening to you when you were busy making other plans. I had completely different plans. I approached a lot of vocalists, and then the idea that you have with a certain track may come out completely different. For example, Not Giving Up on Love, the instrumental track that was written for Not Giving Up on Love was supposed to be an instrumental trance tune. But then the Nervo Sisters came up with Sophie Ellis Bextor, and it was just, a track just happens, And I think that's the beauty of making music. You sort of, if you're in that mode that you just want to make fun and just having a good time, good music happens to you.
Paweł Marulewski, are you excited before Armin Only World Tour?
Yes, I'm very excited. We did the last Armin Only World Tour in 2008. It was the first time that we crossed the boundaries of the Netherlands. We went to Australia, we went to Los Angeles, Belgium, Poland, and it was a really big success. It would have been very easy to make it a yearly thing, just do every year do Armin Only like I did in 2005 and 2006. But I think the fans expect a little bit more from me. So every Armin Only needs to be different, needs to be different show, different artists, different music. So I first decided, okay, let's do an album first, get all the tracks done, and then start writing the show. So for months now, behind the scenes, we've been writing the show, the stage, the script, everything. And in June, I was very happy to announce the first date, which we did November 13th in the Jaarbeurs in Utrecht. I'm also very happy now to announce the dates in Argentina, Buenos Aires in December, and New Year's Eve in the Etihad Arena in Melbourne, which will be kind of special. And I think, for me, Armin Only is not necessarily financially rewarding because it's a big production. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do because, showing up with a bag of CDs and playing all my big tracks in 3 hours is a lot more easy than playing 9 hours and bringing a complete show. But I hope my fans appreciate the effort that I put into a big show like this. And, for me, everything comes together with Armin Only. The people that I work with, the artists that I work with, the music that I've made, my DJ set, it's just fantastic to do. And the vibe that we had in 2008 with Armin Only was something unreal. Every artist will tell you that was with me on tour. We all became close friends, and it was really a journey that we made together. Something that reminded me of going to school back in the days, You got really close with your classmates, and some of them you still see now. The same thing happened with Armin Only. So it's such a personally rewarding thing, and I really hope that people do see the amount of work and time that goes into a big show like this, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this new show.
Is there already something that you can reveal from the show, or is it a totally big secret?
Well, what I can reveal is if you look at the trailer, you see some hints for what's going to happen. Obviously, the shadow is a big part of the show. If you look at the meaning for Mirage, you'll see some hints. And of course, my new album is kind of the lead for the new show. So I think that's a couple of hints, and I'm going to keep it at that.
Jeroen Bastiaanse, must be a Dutchie. He says, how important is your brother Eller for you in your music and private as well? Are you soulmates?
Yeah, I think my brother and I are soulmates. We're really good friends. Unfortunately, we don't see each other that much. I'm really busy, and he's very busy as well. He's making a lot of time with his band. He's a teacher, guitar teacher. He works on a school, and but for the recording of Mirage, we were very happy to just come together and just jam in the studio. One of the tracks from Mirage, Feel So Good, was actually written just playing guitar. It was a sunny day like this. We opened the studio doors and we were just having fun, just jamming away. And he's really inspiring for me because he comes from a completely different musical background. Obviously, he's my brother, so I love him. But he's also very musically talented, and he plays guitar, which is a completely different instrument than a synthesizer or keyboards that I play. So yeah, he's very important, and I just get along with him really well. So he was a big inspiration. His guitar is heard on this new album in Mirage, Coming Home, and Feel So Good, and some other tracks. There's some guitar lines of him hidden in the back as well. So yeah, he's part of the furniture of Armin Only. So I'm very happy and very proud that he's part of of the family.
Was this the first time that you were jamming together, or you did that before?
No, Eller and I have always been jamming together. I think our collaboration goes back as far as 1997 when I first started producing. I mean, he's always been following me, and he's a little producer himself as well. You know, with Bagabones, his band, he really makes amazing music, I feel. So, but he comes around. You know, he plays guitar. I mean, I think the act of music making is not so much about, okay, today we're gonna make a hit record, you know? It's just like, hey man, you know, I have this riff, let's just play it. And some of the tracks that I've done that didn't go on Mirage are just jam sessions. They're just 2-minute clips, Eller playing some guitar, I'm playing some Rhodes, playing some drums, and usually that's enough to inspire a writing session for vocals. And from there on, you really start production.
Ortiz Rodolfo, can you cook?
Can I cook? Well, I'm a DJ, so I cook music. I love cooking, actually. One of my favorite things is boeuf bourguignon to make. I actually got a nice pan for my birthday to make it, but so far
that was a hint, maybe.
Yeah, but so far I haven't really had the time to do it. I'm always on the road. I'm always either working on my radio show, working for Armada Music, on my productions, remixes, or preparing my sets. So it's kind of hard, but I really do consciously try to take more time for myself and for my family here at home, because it's really important for me.
Yeah. Does your wife cook then, or you?
Unfortunately, she's a great cook, but unfortunately she cooks most of the time. I say unfortunately because I feel I should do it more. Yeah.
Ken Stoffel says, do you ever dream of going to an Armin gig, or Armin only as a member of the audience?
That's a really good question. I would love that. You know, I think you have to understand that if you go to an Armin only gig or a gig of me, I'm very much the crowd myself, you know. I used to go out a lot before I became a DJ. I used to go in Holland, go clubbing, and I'm really still the crowd. Like I said before, I buy all the CDs of my colleagues, and I have them all in my library. So first and foremost, I'm a really big fan of this music. And I don't feel God is a DJ. I don't like that expression. I feel I'm really part of the crowd in a way. I try to enjoy the music as much as possible, because I noticed if I don't enjoy myself, the crowd is more flat as well. You know, people expect me to enjoy myself, and I'm enjoying the music just as much or even more than the crowd, because I'm really, really into it, and I feel that's my assignment.
Okay. So actually, no, because you think you are already part of the crowd.
Well, of course, I'm not standing in the crowd, but I'm hearing the same music and I see the same show, although I'm on stage. But yeah, I feel like I should be close to the crowd. I wish I could go to my own show, but hey, that's not possible.
Jacob van Hagen wants to know, do you think that the crossover between house and trance is at its highest point already? Or is there more to explore?
Well, like I said before, you know, and one of the mottos in my life is don't be a prisoner of your own style. For me, trance music is always been essential, and if you listen to all my music from the past, I think I still have my own sound, but it's growing, and I don't really like to think in styles, you know, this is house, this is trance, this is progressive, this is techno. If you look at my DJ set, sometimes I play a techno record, sometimes I play a progressive house record, hell, sometimes I even play just a house record. I don't care. For me, if the feeling is okay, and if the feeling refers to the state of trance, you know, then I like to play it. I don't really like to think in styles. That being said, you know, right now house music is really, really popular, and you know, the sounds of the Swedish House Mafia, David Guetta, and all those guys are doing really, really well. And obviously, the trance guys are inspired by it. If you look at the trance sound of now, you can really see there's a lot of influence from minimal percussion. You know, the little 808 plops and all that. The tempo, the overall BPM has gone down, I feel. And, you know, there's a huge inspiration from house music. So, and I think it's a good thing, you know. Music needs to progress. If it stays the same, it gets dull and stale. And that's what I try to do with Mirage as well. Obviously, I made some, you know, more standard trance tunes, because I really like to do that. But other than that, I've also really try to experiment with a little bit housey kind of things, more progressive kind of sound. So I hope people appreciate that, and I think trance will always be there, you know. I will always play trance, but it just moves on.
Yeah. BC333 says, do you feel that trance has overcome the stereotype of ravers candy kids, drugs and irresponsible parties?
I think where there's people, when there's big festivals, there's always a few people that are bound to make mistakes. Whether you go to a rock festival, you go to a classical concert or whatever, there's always, if there's a huge amount of people, you can always expect something to happen. Most of it is nice. Sometimes something happens that's not so nice. What I really don't like is the fact that sometimes there's a little bit negative things surrounding the whole trance scene. In my experience, the people are just there for the music. You know, people often talk about drug use or whatever, and maybe I'm blind or something, but I don't see it that often. What I really see is people that care about the music. You know, if you're there with waving your flag or your big sign, or you're wearing your special T-shirt for the DJ to show him, then you're there for the music. You're not there to abuse the situation or to take drugs or to be really drunk. You're there to really enjoy the music, and that's what I see. 99% of the people on the dance floor, and that's especially with trance music. The atmosphere is so great. If you ask any bouncer of the clubs that I play, usually they're so happy with the atmosphere. They say, oh man, you know, this is a lot better than the party we had last week because you know, the crowd is just so nice and they're really there for the music. So that's why we have a thing called the trance family. The trance family is really there. It's a family that's based around the music trance, not so much about the negative aspects of it. And I think we should focus on the music and not so much about the people that are trying to destroy it or that are jealous or envy the kind of music. I think I'm really proud of the scene, and I'm really proud to be a member of the trance family.
Galo GCM says, hey Armin, here's my question. If you could change anything from your past experiences as a DJ, what would that be?
If I could change anything, I think I would learn how to play the piano. Yeah, I think I would invest more time in playing piano and stuff like that, because that's still a dream of mine, to actually really learn to play more instruments. And I invest a lot of time in reading magazines about new techniques and new stuff. But as far as my DJ career itself concerned, I'm really happy and very lucky and very fortunate to have met so many great people and to play for the best promoters all around the world and to play for so many great fans. So, you know, purely looking at my DJ career, I'm just really happy with everything that's happened to me so far.
No negative side about it?
No negative sides. Now, the only thing that I can think of that's negative is maybe I should have worn my earplugs earlier. But because I did lose a little bit of my hearing, but not so much, fortunately. And right now, I always try to watch my levels, so that's maybe the only bad thing. And missing some of my birthdays of my best friends. Sorry, guys.
Audrey Faith Kierkeid wants to know, what advice would you give to a young woman trying to make it as a DJ?
Very good question. Actually, on my radio show, when I played a track from Sophie Sugar, she's a UK female trance DJ, excellent producer, really good DJ. And I said on the radio show out loud, I said, it's kind of crazy that this whole scene is dominated by male. I think we do need some female intervention here. So I've challenged all the women around the world to become DJs themselves. And you know, here's a big question. Please don't take your tops off, because sometimes DJ females do that. I think people don't take you serious if you do that. For me, females can bring such a fresh approach to DJing, as I saw before in the early 90s when Miss Monica was famous, or Isis or Lady Ida. You know, they really have a fresh approach because they know better than us guys what women like. So usually the atmosphere is more female friendly. So what advice would I give female DJs? I would give the same advice as I would give men, except for the fact that I think use the fact that you're unique as a female. Try it as a unique selling point. The quickest way to the top is always your productions. So try to focus on your own you know, studio work, and do something that excites people. You know, as a female, I think you have an advantage over the other people. Because that's unique and special, and I would really support any female trance DJ, because I think they have a really fresh approach, and usually females are more receptive for vocal tracks. So I think, you know, focus on the females on the dance floor, because they're really important.
Dory Shelmas wants to know, I want to ask you, do you mind if I call my son Armin?
I don't mind. I think you have to ask my mom, you know. I told my mom one day, I said, if you got $1 for every time someone has been named after me, you would be rich right now, because there's so many people who are named Armin, and I'm very proud of that, you know. It's really, really convenient that my parents gave me my my artist name when I was born, and yeah, it's a big honor. It's great.
Does your name mean something? Do you know that?
Of course, I looked it up. Apparently, it means something like Herman or Herman, and it's kind of similar to warrior. Now, I don't know. I don't really consider myself a warrior, but that's what it means.
Nick Birch, he says, "Hi Armin, what's playing on your iPod at the moment, and what do you like listening to?"
At the moment, I listen to a lot of old radio shows, the radio shows that inspired me. One of the most important radio shows for me was Rave Radio, presented by Adam Curry, mixed by Ronald Molendijk. And it's a really long time ago. It was from 1993 to 1995. And a friend of mine converted all those tapes to MP3s. Okay. So I really like that. I really like the new album by William Orbit as well, Pieces of a Modern Style, Part 2. And I'm such a big sucker for The Orb still, Future Sound of London, Biosphere. That's really the kind of music that I listen to when I try to relax. When I travel right now, I have in-ear monitors that I use to completely disconnect myself from what's going on in the airplane, so to really focus on preparing my DJ sets or listening to music.
And does listening to other people's music inspire you for your own tracks?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think consciously or even subconsciously, you're always inspired by all the music that you hear. So what I do a lot is listen to other music. I listen to the radio, and I listen to a lot of music that's out there just to, you know, to be inspired. And I really want to understand why certain people like certain music. You know, sometimes some music doesn't really appeal to me, but I still want to understand why people like this music. Is it just because it's popular, it's a hype, or is the song structure really well done, or you know, that's kind of a question that always, you know, that I always want to know the answer to.
Okay. But did you get an answer for yourself sometimes?
Sometimes I do. So sometimes actually it needs to grow on me. Sometimes I need to, for example, something completely out of my league, Caro Emerald. I think she's really, really, really famous in Holland. Her album sold extremely well, and it's happy music, you know. And I didn't really understand that music till I saw my wife singing in the kitchen the songs. And I was like, now I understand. It's kind of, you know, happy, feel-good music, and it really deserves. It's really well done, really well performed, and you know, it's a big inspiration for sure.
Raluca Ursu wants to know, ever felt your career was a burden? Ever wished you were unknown even for a moment?
Good question. Well, most of the times it's very convenient if people know you, because, you know, you get to skip lines and stuff, which is a little bit unfair to the people that stand in line. I do like to go shopping sometimes, and when people bother me then and they want a picture or something, or right before a set, you know, for example, I was playing in New York last Sunday, and 5 minutes before my set I usually like to close myself and just focus and be focused and concentrated, and people really wanted a picture and an autograph. I'm like, okay guys, I need to focus on my set, I really want to do a good job here. So, but you know, 99% of the times it's just really, really nice. People have been so nice to me, and you know, I really like the fact that so many people enjoy what I do musically. So I don't really have a lot with the whole DJ admiration, like some people say you're my god or something. I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable when people say that, but I am really honored if people like my music, and they appreciate me for my radio shows and my DJ sets and my productions, because that for me is really important. And fortunately, a lot of times people it's really come about that, you know, when they come to Armin Only, they request tunes or something, they really want to hear the music, and that's what I think it should be about.
Going back to the little 5 minutes before your set that you don't want to be disturbed, do you tell people then that you don't want to be disturbed, or do you feel a little bit awkward about that? I
do feel a little bit awkward, because, you know, sometimes people are just so beyond themselves that they are so enthusiastic, which I understand if they, you know, got the chance to come backstage and they're excited about the whole event and everything that's going on. So I can understand that, but I think for me it's really important if I focus on my set, because that's what the people are there for. So I understand, but you know, sometimes I just want to close myself. I don't think people are really bothering me. at the end of the day, my fans are the most important. If my fans are not there and they don't show up, then there's nothing I can do.
Andrew Ho, he says, with all these traveling and your constant schedule, who does your shopping?
I still do my own shopping, fortunately. Sometimes my wife helps me. But if I get a chance, sometimes at an airport or if there's a hotel near like a big department store, I quickly go in. I also have help from people at my photo shoots that help me get new clothes. Sometimes I have a sponsor. I'm very lucky. Life is really unfair sometimes because the more successful you are, the more clothes you get for free. It's kind of unfair, but that helps me. So I recently did a deal with a big clothing brand in the US, and they sent me a big box full of clothes, which was really convenient, although it wasn't all my size, and I lost kind of a weight because I'm working out now a lot, so I had to throw away a lot of clothes, but I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, but you like shopping too? You really care about clothing, or?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I'm not really that much into, shopping for hours and stuff like that, and I'm really a guy, I walk into a store, I buy 5 pair of jeans, 10 shirts, and usually all white. I'm sorry, guys. And then I head off, it's easy.
Hilmi Weer says, Armin, can you dance? I like the little shoulder hop you have when you're behind the decks, but seriously, can you?
Can I dance? I gotta be honest, no. That's why I became a DJ, I have this wiggle I invented, and usually I'm just a quiet guy standing in the corner, bouncing his head. That's who I am. I'm not a very good dancer. No.
And doing a shoulder hop, that's what he says here.
I don't know, that just happens. When I like the music, I just,
Oh, you know what he's talking about then.
I know. I think every DJ has a little wiggle behind the deck. I think somebody should make a YouTube video once of all the wiggles of all the DJs around the world.
Yeah. Nadine Carrillo Betancourt says, what was your biggest motivation for your new album, Mirage?
My biggest motivation or inspiration?
Motivation.
Well, the motivations are the fans, of course. The motivation was to create something new and to do something different and just to have fun in the studio, really. I mean, I built a completely new studio from the ground up and working in a new and fresh environment with all new toys and stuff like that. That was a really big motivation as well, just trying new stuff, new little sounds, new equipment. Yeah, that was really a big help.
Daniel Gutierrez Fernandez says, what moved you to make the trance and rock combination in Mirage and Coming Home?
Well, like I said before, don't be a prisoner of your own style. I'm a big fan of rock music. I'm a big fan of my brother's band, Vagabonds, and it was very easy. It was such a crazy combination. Actually, in the office, I had to convince the people to make a track like this because at first, the people weren't really feeling the track when it was still a rough demo. The demo included a part of a Vagabonds song, which was sampled and put in the right key for the track. And it just didn't sound really well, but I just wanted to feel how that breakdown would sound before actually going into the studio and make costs to record those takes. And I pushed through, and I'm really happy we did because the rock breakdown has never been done in that way in a trance track, I feel. So I really hope people are inspired by it, and you shouldn't see this as a thing that I will try in another track. I don't think this is something I will do again. I just hope to inspire other people, and it's just a little fun thing to show, and I think it really works in the breakdown. It's something you don't expect at all, and it just rips the roof off.
Denise Shine says, how much are you involved in the organization of Armin Only Mirage, and how do you make sure that your ideas will be implemented in the show?
Well, Armin Only started as a DJ set first and foremost, and Armin Only is me, so I have a final say, but I'm not the type of person that says, boom, this is what I want. I listen to other people very much. We have a big, oh look, it's my cat. I have a big crew of people that advises me. We have a show director. We have loads and loads of people that help me with storyboards, and we look a lot of clips on the internet, on YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So we are very, very much inspired by each other. And we have loads of meetings. Already for months we have been designing the stage and look what's technically possible. We're actually designing a specific part of technology for this performance. Several computer programs are actually being written right now to make possible what ideas I have for syncing up audio and video and all that sort of stuff. So it's very exciting and it's very challenging. But usually I think I'm very good at motivating people with new ideas, if I may say so. I just love to motivate people and say, hey, you know, this is what we should do, and we should try it that way, and you know, show people a little trick. It's very important to motivate other people so they like your ideas as well. But most of the show, the new Armin Only show, is actually written by other people. So the actually show program, of course, I said, well, this is my idea, this is Mirage, this is what I expect. But I didn't know everything, so we really got a show director to help us with writing the actual script, like you would have a script for a movie. That's going to happen with the new Armin Only show.
Did you have any ideas or inspiration yourself?
Yeah, of course. Mirage. Mirage is the idea for the new the new Armin Only show. But I don't want to reveal too much.
Oliver Nagel says, did you ever write a song for a girl or your wife?
Did I ever write a song for a girl or my wife?
Or a girlfriend or?
I think I actually did. One of the very first tracks that I wrote when I didn't have my own studio yet, back in 1991. I wrote a track called, you know, just for fun I did, but that track's never been released. Actually, there's quite a few hidden things on my album. I don't like to reveal too much. I'd like people to go and look for themselves. Okay. Lyrically and in the music, there's messages, you know, that it's actually great. I always found it a little bit strange, but it's actually a great way of communicating your own desires or fears or things, you know, by putting stuff in music, and it communicates. And like the song Communication, you know, the piano that communicates with the delay that's in the other channel. It's stuff like that you can really put your own message into. So did I write a song specifically for my wife or girlfriend? I don't know. Go listen to Mirage.
But you do like people to find out, to really listen to your tracks?
I don't really like to explain my music too much. You know, I like people to read and discover things. I mean, Mirage was a project that I worked on for 2 years, and there's so many things hidden in the album. You know, lyrically, in the music, soundscapes we've recorded, all kinds of little things, the titles of tracks. I like people to find out for themselves, because I think I prefer to take those secrets with me to my grave, because I like people to listen to the music and explain it for themselves.
Suvo Deep Das says, what is the significance of the name Mirage?
Well, the significance of the name kind of refers to the feeling when you sit in a subway across somebody that has an iPod on or a music player, and you see him sitting there just staring down, having a neutral face expression, but inside he might be very happy. So it kind of refers to one of my frustrations about people often judging other people by their first impression. I made that mistake in the past as well, by thinking somebody would not so nice or not so talented or not so smart, and then you get to know a person a little bit better, and you know, your first impression is not always the right one. And Mirage, if you look at the cover, it kind of explains Mirage is a thing that's actually there. You know, if you feel happy about music, that's the cover. So, and for the rest, I don't really want to explain everything. Like I said before, I think people have to find out for themselves a little bit. Things aren't always what you expect. Maybe that's Mirage.
Shaik McKean says, would you ever release the other 2 versions of Feel So Good you played on your studio session video?
No, because they aren't very good. Oh. Actually, I think there's about 80 versions of
80 or 18?
80. Not 80 versions of It Feels So Good, but 80 versions of all the tracks of the album, because The thing we did, Benno and I, in the studio, we did a lot of car testing. So we would like work on a track for a day, and then we would render the track, and I would go running, or Benno would go with his car, burn it on a CD quickly. I think he had a whole stack of CDs, which every song of the was made, and listening in it in a car or while you go running with your personal headset on, it can give you a completely different perspective of the song and give you new ideas. For example, the song Mirage, you can hear there's so many ideas hidden in that, melody lines. And sometimes it would be a case of, okay, we had the melody, and then we would put a little bass line idea below it, and then, I have a melody idea. Let's quickly go in the studio, and I would write a melody, and I would save it, and just go away, and a couple of months later, open the track again, and I put that melody there. Oh, but that melody can actually go in that song, because I was looking for a melody like that. Okay, so we exported that melody, put it into another track. So the process of making music is very dynamic. It's never the same. It's never just a matter of, okay, I sit down, I put down some beats, I put down a bass line, I put down some chords, and that's the track. It's always a matter of, hey, today I'm going to try this, and today I'm going to freak around with loops, or today I'm going to try this new compressor, or today every day is different, which is what makes making music so great. Like I said, there's no really golden way of working. Some of my biggest tracks were written in 2 hours. Some of my biggest tracks were written in a day, but then, like for example, In and Out of Love, everybody knows the track. I remember when we recorded the track, Sharon came to my house at 10:30 in the morning, and I was so surprised she was there on the dot 10:30. And we worked the whole day. She even ate boerenkool with us, which is a Dutch kind of dinner dish. And after the dinner, we went upstairs again to fine-tune the vocal. And then I think Benno went skiing. He took some of the vocals with him, corrected the vocals. I worked on the beats a little bit, and then we all came together. So the actual song was written in one day and recorded, but the fine-tuning took weeks. To finish the final version of In and Out of Love. So it's a very dynamic process. Communication was written in 4 hours and then produced in 2 days, and it was done.
Joanna Alm says, if you could change something about the electronic dance music scene, what would it be and why?
If I could change something about the dance music scene, it would be changing the whole discussion about drug use and all that sort of stuff. In my opinion, there's too much focus on that side from a government point of view. And I think what we forget is that so many people have a great time and every weekend go out to clubs and have a fantastic time. I think what's really strange to me sometimes, when you have in Holland a big event like Pinkpop, there's 60,000 people that go there, and it's nationally on TV and on the radio and everything. And people only talk about the music. And then when you have a big event like Sensation in the Amsterdam Arena, there's almost the same amount of people that go to an event like that. But there's nothing on the TV or the radio. Or the only thing you read next day is, oh, there's 20 people arrested for drunk behavior or something. When I'm sure there's drunk behavior on Pinkpop as well. But that's not what the focus is on. I'd like people to focus more on the positive side of things, that a lot of young people, a lot of young kids go out every weekend and they have an amazing time in clubs. So I think it's really important to stress.
Jerry Babida says, what do you say in response to some critics believing you are becoming too mainstream?
Well, when you're successful, it's very obvious that some people think you're mainstream. It comes with success, you know. If you're successful, some people will keep following you and other people will move on. I think it's normal. Yeah. So I can't change anything about it. I keep doing what I do. I keep doing the sound that I believe in. I will never forget my roots, and of course every fan is very important to me. But you know, I gotta live with the fact, as a perfectionist, and this is really hard, because I am a perfectionist, I gotta live with the fact that I can't please everybody, which sometimes really frustrates me. But most of the times I'm very lucky, and the crowd is understanding, and all that sort of stuff. And I hope people do appreciate the fact that I have a side project like Gaia, which is more deep and more focused on instrumental trance, and that half of my new album is instrumental, and it's really, you know, back to basics of trance. And I hope people appreciate the experimentations with the track Mirage and Virtual Friend, and you know, I hope people do see the amount of thought and hours and money that went into this production, and I hope people see it as a growing process, and it would be very easy for me to go in the studio and make another 12 communications, but that wouldn't be very inspiring now, would it? It would be exactly the same track all over again. So I think I see it as an assignment to try and help, you know, to develop myself as an artist, as Gaia, but also as Armin van Buuren, who makes Broken Tonight. It's both Armin van Buuren.
Last one, Pat Tough Touch Holder says, if you hear some talent in an unsigned producer, do you take time to help them, and how?
I wish I had more time to help unsigned producers. I used to have more time for that back in 2003, 2004 when I just started Armada. Right now what I do, if I hear a talent, I immediately get them in contact with our A&R team, Onno, Sander, Ruben and Michael, who are really, really good at you know, helping and developing new talent. And what I can do from my part is advise new producers. Sometimes I'm really close contact with some of the young talent. One of the guys that I really like, for example, right now is Glenn Morrison, Blake Jarrell. Those guys are really, really growing musically, and I really like what they're doing. So I try to keep in touch with them, give them some advice on the way they produce. But sometimes there's not enough time. I wish there was more time. Maybe I can buy time somewhere. Right.
Thank you very much, Armin. I think we answered them all. Well, not all 1,000, but 25. And for all the people that didn't have a chance today to get their question answered, I think there will be a next time that your friends can send in some questions.
I'd like to personally add my thank you to all the people that have been supporting me throughout the years. A big shout out to everybody on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. A big shout out to the trans family all around the world, and hope to see you soon at Armin Only.